Meghan Markle here.
Today is February 18, 2026. It is 3:09 p.m. So I just did a video for my members. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put it out for everybody, but I just did a video of some stuff that I was thinking, but I already did it. So let's go on X. I have a list that I've been piling on, and then when I went on Twitter trying to finish the list that I had, which is this further down, it's a lot. I'm telling you, there's a lot to share with you. And then I saw Prince William trending, so I add some tweets above my previous tweet for me to share with you. So let's go through them really quickly, and I think this one is one of them. All right, so it's Prince William is trending. I posted on my community board that there's an article that he's divorced or something like that. Go check it out. I didn't fully read everything, so I think they're trying to take attention away from that connection with Epstein file and him going to the Middle East. So they're trying to distract people, and it's working very well in the UK, I think. But anyway, let's focus on this. We're looking at women so shattered by abuse that they're either already dead or struggling daily. Okay, she tagged somebody. It's flabbergasted by Prince William's discussions on men's mental health when the royals still have questions to answer about Andrew. Okay, I'm glad she's not letting that go. And what about when Meghan was having the mental thing in the UK? They didn't take it seriously. I'm telling you, does the UK forget about that? When Harry wanted him to go see a psychologist, they didn't. Anyway, let's listen. 1 minute and 14 seconds screenshot.
And the reason I was so flabbergasted when listening to Prince William this morning was partly the timing and also the topic of mental health and where you are emotionally and working out your emotional life. Everything you say at the moment, this is to the senior members of the royal family, everything you say at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, is noise until you say what we need you to say and you tell what we need you to tell, which is how much you knew, what you knew, and when you knew it. We know there's more. It doesn't necessarily implicate you personally. Of course we know there's more. But to take time out to talk about your own mental health and the mental health of men when we are looking at women so shattered, I'm talking about the heart of this story, women so shattered by the abuse that they experienced, that they are either already dead from taking their own lives or struggling daily with their mental health and with their attempt to get justice and accountability.
The UK, the royal family, there's something, they love to gaslight people, to put people in a state of needing mental health. We already know this is just a front because the thing with the Epstein thing, it's not going away. They thought that this was gonna go away really quickly. The moment the American people know the extent of it, I knew it was all over. They're not gonna let it go. So the UK try its best to distract people. It's not gonna go away until it is the perpetrators are there's accountability. Okay, there's one video. Let me go get it. The video I'm about to show you was on the previous video that I just did. Okay, me being a good dude and realizing I'm about to have to do some effing up shit to make sure my daughter's future is good. Okay, they're opening people's eyes. 39 seconds. I didn't even listen to it. Let's listen. Wow. He's not saying anything. Okay, I mute the music because I'm gonna get what do you call this? Copyright on it. So there's a shift that's going on. I told you guys, when it comes to children, this is where the line is crossed. Okay? He's trying to move away from this topic here. Prince William was warned about Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem Epstein ties in 2022, but chose to take his money anyway. Okay? I will not be surprised. Someone probably sent that guy to him and he didn't have the foresight to say no. Because Charles had done something similar to Harry, sent someone to Harry to donate to Santa Bali, and things happen. I've explained it before. Whatever the guy wanted Harry to do, Harry rejected it. I don't know how the money process went. Maybe Harry did took the money for Santa Bali, but the extra step that the guy wanted Harry to do, Harry was like, no, I'm not about that. And then he went and warned his father. So this is the thing he's trying to distance himself from. He knew what the guy was all about, but his morality and his greed, the money blind him. So, but anyway, the shift that I was trying to say here, the video that I went to get, where I'm telling you that American people will not stop until perpetrators come to terms with that. I put this on my last video. I've seen at least a dozen of these in my TikTok feed. There's a paradigm shift happening in America. Wealthy Republican pedophiles and pedophile protectors have no idea. Okay, the guy just showed a video of himself. He didn't say anything, but there's a music in the background that's most likely will be copyrighted. Okay, and he put this here: me being a good dude and realizing I'm about to have to do some effed up shit to make sure my daughter's future is good. 100%. Okay, 39 minutes of him just going like that. He didn't say a thing in the video. Not a thing. Just him thinking of, you could just imagine if you have seen some of the videos about the Epstein file. Okay? Now, that's all. I just wanted to share this with you. I'm not going to go in the comments. The other tweet that I have for you is the thing that, Harry, William went to, whatever, with that mental health thing. That's him talking. I'm telling you, he got these people. Okay, Prince William answered the question, quote, do you notice that your children talk openly about their feelings? How they were feeling about a certain things? Yeah, sometimes too much. Okay, let's listen. Almost 2 minutes.
William, do you notice that your children talk openly about their feelings, their day, how they were feeling about a certain thing?
Yeah, sometimes too much. To get all the details, which I love. You know, it's amazing. And being able to understand it, have time with it, decipher it sometimes, because like the guys are saying, you know, it's you feel a sense you need to fix it for everyone, and that I find quite difficult. I have to remind myself, and you know, you don't need to fix everything, but you do to listen, and it's important just to be okay with those feelings and those comments. But you know, like everyone's saying, the next generation understanding that emotions is okay, and like. You're going to have uncomfortable emotions, you're going to have really great emotions, and there's a huge spectrum of in between. And I think my understanding, you know, learning about mental health through my journey has been about seeing how the previous generations trying to understand why they didn't talk about it. So for me to understand where we are now, I need to understand where we've been. And for me, I think the situation with the world wars, generations before us couldn't talk about their emotions. They saw and they went through some really horrendous things that no matter how much you try and talk about it, it wouldn't have really helped anyone. And so they, as a generation, decided, probably not deliberately, but they just kept it to themselves. They then hand that mantle on to the next generation, again, not deliberately, but by sort of, that's all they knew. And we have to break that cycle where it's, you have to talk about your emotions. You can't just bottle them up and pretend they don't exist, because that's when it all goes wrong and you end up drinking lots, unraveling, being in torment. And so it's important, I think, that we understand where we are now. We've got a long way to go in this journey of mental health, but it's really crucial we know where we've come from, because that is such important growth for all of us to get our heads around where we're trying to head to.
If I didn't know any better, I would have bought the nonsense that he's selling. But I've known too much. There's that thing with, I think it's Shout or something like that. When Harry was there, I might have the wrong organization that they created. I think it's Shout though, where people will call in, random people in the UK, if they're going through some stuff, they call, share their thing, and get some help. The moment Harry left, all of a sudden, some of the things that people, it was supposed to be discreet, okay? The person called, to feel free to talk about whatever's going on in their mind, and then that'll be it. The thing will stay private, will not be shared with anybody. The moment Harry left, there was an article that came out that some of those information that were being shared for free, all of a sudden is going to a for-profit place. There's a possibility they probably sold those information when those people thought they were sharing their feelings, and that would be discreet. Okay, William and Kate was taking care of that. All right, and then the thing with the gaslighting, unnecessary pain they put on Harry and Meghan, inserting themselves in Harry and Meghan's business. My God.
Have been, as we know, is that the Mail on Sunday had the ruling against them in February, and they were then appealing it. So it was lawyers from the Mail on Sunday who would have approached Jason Naff, knowing that these emails and messages existed. That would have been the point, unless, the most likely outcome is that Jason obviously would have then gone to William and Kate, and clearly he has cooperated. He would not have cooperated with those lawyers without their definite knowledge.
May God help us. This is ridiculous. You could pause and read some of the comment. There's this. How's his uncle doing? I would love to ask him a real question, why he is not doing anything to save his country. So cute, parenting is hard. Yes, we know that, but I would have taken him more seriously if some of those other things that had happened before, he dealt with it differently. When Meghan was going through some mental issues, instead of freaking help, they actually add more to her pain. This is the thing. All right, let's leave that alone. Let's go to the next tweet. He just want to distract. Oh, I put this here too. Prince William was warned about Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem Epstein tired in 2022, but chose to take his money anyway. So there's that. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. There were a lot of tweets about him because he's trending right now, but not for the good things. Okay, so I believe they're talking about him here. If he's talking about someone's well-being, I want it to be the victim of Jeffrey Epstein. As Prince William speak out about men's mental health, okay, she tagged somebody here, tells listeners who she thinks is really suffering. Okay, he brought it up. All right, there's another video that I saw. It's a young man. It's not on my list. I saw it way before, where he said the Epstein people, they even assault boys too. Okay, and there's a video that I saw. Some of those kids they kidnap or they have a lifespan of 2 years old only. So they're looking at these kids as if they're raising livestock, things like that. They don't see those kids as human. This is why people are so upset. All right, let's listen to this. Is 1 minute and 18 seconds. Oh, that was her from previously.
This is such a moment because the seriousness of the allegations and the inadequacy of the response from Andrew Mountbatten Windsor are such that I think there is an impatience over this.
I don't want it to be an attack on the Prince of Wales talking about mental health, the work that he has done on mental health, because as you said, it is incredibly important and it has been a generational sea change how we talk about mental health, and all to the good and still work to be done on that. But let's not forget whose mental health is in tatters at the moment. And the answer is the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and others. And one of those others may well be Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Virginia Giuffre certainly said it was. And that, for me, that's why it's so jarring. If he is talking about someone's well-being, I want it to be the victims of Jeffrey Epstein.
And there just hasn't been enough about the victims of Jeffrey Epstein over all of this. And I think this is a critical moment because, you know, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is right at the centre of a lot of these allegations and a lot of the concern over the young women whose lives have been upended by what happened to them when they were at a very early age. And I think that there does need to be a response. And so I think, you know, things have changed a bit.
Okay. So, yeah, we have to keep on bringing to them. What about the victims? Okay, they're saying the mental well-being of the men. Yes, they even victimize boys too. So what about those victims? Oh my God, what is this here? All right, the tweet, weaponized mental health against Epstein victims and his brother, but he is really copying everything his brother does, such a tool. Yeah. Okay, God forbid we talk about the male suicide epidemic instead of a story that has been constantly in the news for 6 years. All right, let's see here. All right. Prince William accused Prince Harry of being brainwashed by therapists. I wanted to say that I didn't have the receipt. There it is. Okay, this is what I like about the squad. There it is. This is why I would have taken him seriously if I didn't know some of these before. He weaponized the thing, and when Harry tried to bring the mental well-being of things, William sort of downplayed it. Prince William feared Prince Harry was being brainwashed by his therapist. Oh my God.
People have said my wife saved me.
Yeah.
You know, I was stuck in this world.
Yeah.
And she was from a different world and helped sort of draw me out of that. But none of the elements of my life now would have been possible without me seeing it for myself.
Yeah.
As we know, it's one of the, you know, it's hard to change. It's almost impossible to change other people.
Yeah.
You got to start with changing yourself and allow that growth to happen. But yes, my partner is an exceptional human being, and I'm eternally grateful for the wisdom and the space that she's been able to give to me.
Well, there's an incident in the book where you kind of lose it. I think you lose your temper, and she says to you, "You can't do that with me.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be with a person who does that.
Mm-hmm.
I will not have children with a person who does that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to figure out what's going on inside yourself." And my wife, bless her soul, has always challenged me to, she wouldn't put up with anything less than my true self.
Mm-hmm.
And what a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And so relationships, but not just with spouses, but also with people who see you and accept you, such an important part of healing, I think.
And I needed that.
Yeah.
I really needed that. I needed that pushback. I needed that moment of, again, scared of losing her. And it was a real moment because of the question that she asked.
Yeah.
She said, is it because that was how you were brought up, or that you've experienced or seen or heard, you know, other people within your life speak to women like that? And it was like a light bulb moment. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Not an excuse.
No.
Just
an
understanding of how these things manifest themselves and how we are so much a product of our own upbringing.
All right. That's a good one. A good receipt. Let's go back. Embedded journalists trying to pretend none of this has anything to do with them. All right. Why, William? If anyone will be talking about the well-being of Epstein victims, it should be the Beatrice and Eugenie. Their dad is literally accused of, there's the R word. What is got to do with William? I mean, he's trying to distract from his connection with that Middle Eastern guy. Okay, Pooh from Shala. Of course, he's thinking of himself. The royal family's sense of entitlement is off the scale. I don't know. Maybe when he was discussing it with his people, they thought it was a good idea to talk about it, but they forgot to tackle other branches of things. Oh, Lord. All right, what else? Let's go to the next tweet. I should, let me pause and go look for something. It took me too long to find it, so forget it. Okay, so this is the next tweet. Third charity linked to Prince William faces Epstein scrutiny after shock resignation. I'm not going to read that article, but there. He wants to distract people from all of these links. He didn't want people to know about these things. All of a sudden, he cares about mental health. Sunshine investigation, all are needed now. Prince William's lack of meaningful advocacy is concerning. His troubling ties to perpetrators raise significant question about his relevance. This Epstein linkage also casts doubt on his ability to lead and connect with contemporary societal issues. You will not hear anything from William about this post. The silence is deafening. Everything William and Kate touch goes kaput. And let me guess. He knew nothing about it. Abolish the monarchy. They shouldn't have done the Sussexes dirty. They will continue to reap what they saw. All right. So there's more comments. Someone said dominoes. Okay. It's pretty much falling apart. All right. Let's go to the next tweet. I have 3 more for this. All right. Let's pause that. Okay. The royal figure, once you open the door, the genie is out. Prince William has avoided all mention of his uncle, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, in a BBC interview. So are the royal concerned that addressing the situation signal a point of no return? All right, so let's listen to this. 1 minute and 37 seconds.
The royals figure that once you open the door, one crack, that's it. The genie is out. With the royals, we have already made a calculation that they are above the democratic process, that they are not part of the democratic process. They don't even get a vote, right?
And they don't get elected.
And so I suppose this is where it gets really confusing, that we have already tried to redefine them as totally other, right? They're not people that come in every day to the radio studio. I mean, that's why you want to hear from them, because there is a scarcity value, right? We don't actually sit them down. We don't ever ask them what they feel. So the fact that, off the back of Prince William talking, I would say in a pretty generic way about mental health, everyone's saying, isn't it wonderful to have a prince who opens up about his feelings? He didn't open up about his feelings. He said it's really important to talk about mental health. And maybe that's the point, that the royals figure that once you open the door, one crack, that's it. It has changed forever. The genie is out. You can't then say to the next interview, oh, I've talked about Andrew, I don't want to talk about him again. Or I've talked about, my relationship with Harry, I don't want to talk about it again. The point is that we have got to a place where we are demanding more of the royals now, because something has changed. Something has changed. And I think the question of how they're going to respond to that is absolutely critical now.
Okay, for those who have been following my channel, you could see the parallel, the shift that's going on between the UK and the US. Not between, but the governing system. They are parallel. They are parallel. When I don't know which one is gonna topple first. I mean, we already saw the decline of it in the US, but by bringing the Epstein thing, people seeing what's happening, they thought, okay, they had a phase, they had a blueprint, because I think they tested it in the UK. All right, some people may say, oh, I'm talking BS. Yes, they did. Okay, if you've been paying attention, yes, they did. The riot that went what was it, 2024 or 2023, summer of 2024 or 2023. Farage was part of the nonsense to stir the pot. Okay, they tested it. Okay, the Rwanda policy, they tested it.
Mr. Speaker, let me return to the Rwanda Migration and Economic Development Partnership. So 2.5 years after the previous government launched it, I can report it has already cost the British taxpayer £700 million in order to send just 4 volunteers. Those costs include £290 million payments to Rwanda, chartering flights that never took off, detaining hundreds of people and then releasing them, and paying for more than 1,000 civil servants to work on the scheme. A scheme to send 4 people It is the most shocking waste of taxpayers' money I have ever seen. Looking forward, the costs are set to get worse. Even if the scheme had ever got going, it's clear it would only cover a minority of arrivals. Yet a substantial portion of future costs were fixed costs. For example, the annual direct payments to Rwanda, the contracts for escorts, the staffing in the Home Office, the detention and reception centres, and more. So the taxpayer would still have to pay out no matter how few people were relocated. And most shocking of all, over the 6 years of the Migration and Economic Development Partnership forecast, the previous government had planned to spend over £10 billion of taxpayers' money on the scheme. They did not tell Parliament that. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Rwandan government for working with the UK in good faith, because the failure for this policy lies with the previous UK government. It has been a costly con, and the taxpayer has had to pay the price.
But thank God there were some good politicians who put a stop to it. But they tested it, and then they sent it over here to the United States to do it. And the reason they are able to go that far with it in the US is because of the Epstein file. They, tie those politician hands behind their back. If you don't do it, or else things gonna come out. So the UK, those people, the pedophile, it's like it's infested in the fabric of the UK. In the US, yes, some of those people do it, but what happened is that there's videos, images that could, once they make it public, you see how people go crazy about it. So now you could see the parallel. But anyway, we shall see which one is going to go down first. Okay, we listen to this. The election of duty of the BBC. They should have asked William about Andrew. Okay, what is this here? Okay, 12 hours ago. Our last video looked at some of the outstanding questions for the royal family over the alleged conduct of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, produced by Katerina Carley. Further coverage on the BBC News website. All right, so let's listen to this. There's a couple responses here. Let's see here. Bottom up. Okay, not all of them. So on goes the nauseum. No resolution. It'd be fantastic if the Brits broke with tradition and made a decision decisively. They want interminable debate, exhausting consultation, endless conversation, just squeezes the life out of the obvious point until nothing is done. That is it. That's that. It's true. But anyway, let's listen to this so I can move on to the next one.
Buckingham Palace has talked of King Charles's profound concern at allegations relating to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Jeffrey Epstein. But there are a number of outstanding questions for the royal family. Does the palace have records for guests to royal properties who may have been connected to Jeffrey Epstein? Until this year, Andrew lived at Royal Lodge in Windsor. Until 2019, he had an office at Buckingham Palace. Based on Epstein's emails, it appears he was welcome. In 2010, Epstein emails one person saying, "I'll be having dinner at Buckingham Palace tomorrow. Want to join?" He later exchanged emails with Andrew, referring to 3 women, writing, "Should I bring them all so as to add some life?" We don't know if Epstein did dine at the palace, but later he emailed Andrew. "Great fun, more later," he says. "Yes, please," Andrew replies. Remember, this is after Epstein had been convicted for soliciting sex from a minor in 2008. It's now known that Epstein trafficked women and girls over many years. One woman says he flew her to the UK to have sex with Andrew. She alleges the encounter happened in Royal Lodge in 2010 and that afterwards she was given a tour of Buckingham Palace and tea. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor hasn't responded to these accusations, but he has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. We asked the palace about records of those who'd been on its properties. It declined to comment. Next were concerns raised with the palace about Andrew's conduct as a UK trade envoy.
You know what crossed my mind? The police as well. When they're supposed to do investigation, they find nothing. And then all this information is out there. The police needs to be... Who's gonna investigate the police? Anyway, let's continue.
Andrew held this role from 2001 to 2011 and visited many countries, including Libya, Indonesia, Oman and China. This image and others are in the Epstein files. They were sent to Epstein by an aide of Andrew's, David Stern. Stern was in regular touch with Epstein. He's previously not responded to the BBC's requests for comment. Andrew also appears to have forwarded confidential reports on UK trade and investment to Epstein. Thames Valley Police says it's looking at the allegations, and the palace says, if need be, it stands ready to support the police. But were concerns about Andrew's conduct as trade envoy raised with the palace at the time? The palace declined to comment. We also asked about Virginia Jeffrey, who died last year. She alleged she was flown to London by Epstein in 2001, when 17 years old, and that, on this occasion and 2 others, she was forced to have sex with Andrew. He denies this. In 2022, Andrew settled a civil case with Jeffrey for an undisclosed amount. It's been repeatedly suggested that members of the royal family, in particular the late Queen, helped finance this. We asked the palace if this is the case. It declined to comment. We also asked if Charles was involved in discussions with Andrew ahead of the settlement. The palace declined to comment. This settlement came 3 years after Andrew's infamous Newsnight interview. Andrew said he'd had no contact with Epstein when he was serving his first jail sentence, and he said he'd ceased all contact with Epstein in 2010. Neither of these statements were true. The emails released in the Epstein files show as much. At the time, did the palace know that some of Andrew's answers were inaccurate? The palace declined to comment. Previously, the palace has said Their Majesty's thoughts and sympathies have been and remain with the victims of any and all forms of abuse. And the palace has distanced itself from Andrew. He's been stripped of his titles. He's moved out of Royal Lodge, albeit to another royal property. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor denies any wrongdoing, but as the allegations have mounted, he's declined to respond in detail. And, publicly at least, the King hasn't called on his brother to do so. The palace is offering to assist the police, but over the years it's had many opportunities to publicly share details of what it did or didn't know about Andrew's alleged conduct. And so far, it's not done that. Buckingham Palace has talked of King Charles's profound concern.
Don't forget to mention the Epstein torture video. Sultan is the co-founding partner of Prince William's charity Earthshot Prize, and that William got £1 million from this Epstein torture video Sultan, plus another £50,000 from Epstein too. So there's all of that, okay? So that's that. I didn't want this video to be too long. Let's go to the next tweet. Somebody is singing. I hope it doesn't record. Alright, Prince William and Kate are in a second honeymoon era ahead of their anniversary. I saw an article which I shared on my community board that they separated. There's that, the shocking truth. It's possible. It's part of a cycle of abuse. Alright, where was it? Yeah, this. Oh, no, not that. Which one did I have? Do I still have it? Or maybe I still have the thing open. Yeah, I have the article open. Prince William's 5-word comment after split from Kate Middleton. Alright, so there's that. So what happened to this? That's from where? MSN. Meghan and Harry are always paced to each other. These two look like strangers. Maybe Will and Jason or Will and Kate. Nope. That ain't what's happening. Alright, so that's an ad. Let's go to the next one. I have one more after this. Okay, breaking. Prince William and Kate Middleton is facing scrutiny after accepting the resignation of a trustee over her 20 years friendship with pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Nicole Zuckerman, a German countess, has stepped down from the Royal Moderns Cancer Charity, which funds the hospital that treated Middleton during her 2024 cancer treatment. Last week, it was reported that Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, the founding partner of Earthshot Prize, left the role at Prince William's charity after it was revealed he was close friend of pedophile Epstein. Prince William needs investigating. Alright, Prince William's charity willingly accepted $50,000 donation from Jeffrey Epstein himself after his 2008 conviction. In one of my videos, I share where was that designer where Epstein was trying to to donate to his charity, and every time he was aware that it's from Epstein, and he returned it. All right, no smoke without fire. And some of the comment under that particular tweet was saying, well, if he knew, why didn't he do something about it? I could understand why he won't be able to do something about it, because you don't know who's part of that ring of pedophile. Because this is a ring of pedophile, people in high position, you have government officials, all sort of people. So you might, it's like, let me save my business because this is my livelihood. I'm staying away from that. But, he will have to create his own ring of people to go after those pedophiles. Himself, he can do that. No amount of money will be able to put these people down. Him by himself. I forgot the name. What's the name? Hermes or something like that? No smoke without fire. This is the main reason why Kate Middleton and Prince William tried to silence Virginia Giuffre 13 years ago. Was not only about Prince Andrew, but an attempt to cover their own. All right, Prince William's closet. There's that Prince William's spouse resigned after Epstein torture video. All right, so that's that. Let's go to my last one. Where's my thing? Okay, there it is. This is my last tweet for this video. I might do another one. Okay, so I saw this because I think I responded to it 47 minutes ago. Afternoon, I am delighted that Prince William has spoken out, trying to draw attention to our failing mental health system, including suicidal issues. I have been verbally banging the drum along with my foundation, trying to help people and their cares. Those people who have seen me speak especially will know I have openly talked about male suicide prevention and the help that is required. However, I feel when I have asked for the government to help the many charities like my own, that we are being ignored. Hopefully, Prince William's comment may actually not be ignored. It's created media interest today, but let's see if anything gets actually done. Okay? I really feel, yes, the issue is there. Where was William when Meghan suicidal thing came out? I spoke about Hugh Jackman, who spoke about mental health issues, that whatever charity or organization that he's part of, he spoke about it. Where was William to talk about these things when Meghan was going through it?
Meghan says she became so depressed, she asked for help.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore. I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help, and I was told that I couldn't, that it wouldn't be good for the institution.
So were you thinking of harming yourself? Were you having suicidal thoughts?
Yes. This was very, very clear.
Wow.
She says Harry was her only support.
If you zoom in, what I see is how tightly his knuckles are gripped around mine. You can see the whites of our knuckles because we are smiling and doing our job, but we're both just trying to hold on.
Contrary to press reports, they say they never blindsided the Queen.
I've never blindsided my grandmother. I have too much respect for her.
Harry describes a strained relationship with the British press and members of the royal family, including his father, who he says at one point wouldn't pick up his calls. As for his relationship with Prince William,
the relationship is space.
This is why so many people is dismissing his concern. I don't know how many people, but at least for me, dismissing his concern because he's going through some stuff, some negative things with the Epstein, with the Middle Eastern guy, the connection. So he's using that to cover up for the other thing. And it's really sad because, yes, I agree with this guy. The mental health issues is very important. Every mental health is important. But the way he's going about it, he's manipulating and using it to distract people from the core issue of what he's dealing with. And it's very sad some people don't see what he's trying to do. But, oh well. All right, there's me here. Oh boy, suddenly you think he cares? Where was he when his sister-in-law was facing it, when he was one of the people who caused his sister to have it? Okay, do your thing. All right, so there's more thing here. You being used, bro. Use. Get the black boxer to say something nice. Would you? All right, so that's that. A friend grown-up daughter has terrible anxiety, told there is a waiting list of a year for a counselor. What bloody good is that to a person seriously struggling right now? There's the laugh here. Where in the F were all y'all at when Harry said, hey, I'm having mental health trouble because of the lies the media are telling. Nobody dare give a F about mental health. All y'all are frauds, fake and phony. If y'all truly care, it would have shown. Yeah. The situation in Essex is very bad, Frank, as there is a waiting list of around 57 people that have either attempted suicide or threatened to that. Currently there is no room in the NHS for them to get the right help they desperately need. A very sad state of affair. Lovely Frank, as you always are, sir. This is the thing. Yes, it is an issue, but William is using it for the wrong reason. And I'm glad he came out and talked about it. I don't follow him. I don't know his full background about this. But, yeah. It's very sad. It's very sad. Anyway, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.